Hi, so today I'm going to talk about our final topic, which is just an overall view of what I've learned this semester and answer the big question of how do people learn. So an overall theme in the research I've done is that everyone learns differently. What may be effective for one student may not be as effective for another. As educators, we have to use the students as resources and find out how they want to learn and what is effective for them. For one of my classes this semester, our professor asked what was working and what wasn't working halfway through the semester at midterms, and she changed the structure of the course, and overall we started comprehending the material better. So before the midterm, it was just strictly PowerPoint and then just homework assignments, but then she changed the structure to better fit our learning, to where it was less PowerPoint driven and more engagement and filling our notes in based on what she was saying and how the material was brought forward. So what is learning? People learn best when they are treated with respect and are not talked down to. Learning opportunities should, when possible, be linked to previous positive experience. This involves self-awareness on the part of the learner and understanding and empathy on the part of the teacher. When possible, learners should take part in planning of learning activities. So the example I talked about before about my professor this semester, that this is a good example of how we were active learners and we took part in the planning of how we would learn. People learn best when their physical environment is comfortable. In group situations, a positive emotional and supportive environment is also important. If you do group activities, it's better if the group works together and they can socialize and interact with the group members. It is important for learners to not feel judged when working in group settings or in classrooms in general. Open communication can be very important. Interaction with the teacher or professor is vital. People need to be able to react, question, and voice opinions on what they're learning. Generally, in group situations, quieter members should be gently encouraged for their input. A connection between the teachers and the students is very important because that can determine whether students actually are motivated to learn, or if they want to return to school, or if they have a positive attitude and experience when in school. Learning activities and or delivery needs to be varied. Like I said before, if a class is really just laid out the same and you expect the same every class, it's good to have a routine, but it's also good to stray from that routine because it keeps students engaged and keeps them wondering what they're going to learn next and how they're going to learn it. Some learning techniques / theories that we learned this semester are behaviorism. So using behaviorism as a learning technique led to the development of instruction and learning production, some of which is still used in classrooms today, including direct instruction, lecture, behavioral objective as classroom management, the behavioral reward system, such as if they complete a goal, then you reward them, or if they're having good behavior, then you reward them. Positive reinforcement and individualized instruction. We also learned about cognitivism, and this allows educators to change existing schemas if they're wrong, introducing new aspects and redefine things students think they know about. When introducing new aspects, educators can use background knowledge that students have to help them learn the topic well. We also learned about social cognitive theory. Self-efficacy is a major concept in Albert Bandura's theory. It began as a theory for psychology but has now developed more into the education field. This theory emphasizes how the role of observational learning and social experiences develop our personalities. Bandura believed that a person's actions reflected a behavior that they have previously observed. So this goes back to if we see a behavior, then we adopt it. We also learned about connectivism. Learning and knowledge rests in diversity of opinion. Learning is a process of connecting specialized nodes or information sources. Learning may reside in non-human appliances such as computers. Capacity to know more is more critical than what is currently known. Nurturing and maintaining connections is needed to facilitate continual learning. The ability to see connections between fields, ideas, and concepts is a core skill and this relates back to connectivism. So currency, or accurate and up-to-date knowledge, is the intent of connectivist learning activities. Decision-making itself is a learning process. Choosing what to learn and the meaning of incoming information is seen through the lens of a shifting reality. While there is a right answer now, it may be wrong tomorrow due to the advancement of knowledge every day. And this is very true, especially how fast science, technology, and education just continues to grow and advance. We also talked about sociocultural learning, which is Vygotsky's idea, and there's 3 themes often identified with this theory. The first one is human development and learning originate in social, historical, and cultural interactions. Number 2 is the use of psychological tools, particularly language, mediate development of higher mental function. And number 3 is learning occurs within the zone of proximal development. The ZPD is probably the most widely applied sociocultural concept in the design of learning experiences. ZPD is defined as the distance between the actual developmental level as determined by independent problem solving and the level of potential development. Some more theories of how people learn are that children construct their own knowledge. Knowledge is not transferable. It needs learning and time to process and develop. Acquiring knowledge is an individual ability. However, children might need help to do that. Learning needs mediation. Other people interact with the child to use tools and facilitate the learning process. And language is used for mental development. People use language to develop higher psychological functions. 2 levels of learning. It happens on a social level first, and then on an individual level. Social context is important. If a person does not get the proper social environment to develop, cognition does not develop either. Human development and learning originate in social, historical, and cultural interactions, like Vygotsky said. So Vygotsky contended that thinking has social origins. Social interactions play a critical role, especially in the development of higher order thinking skills. Instant rewards do help. So people learn best if the results and or rewards of learning are made clear and can be demonstrated during or immediately after the learning experience. So I'm currently a daycare teacher, and I can tell you that especially with younger kids, if they do something good or if they're really learning a certain topic really well, you have to reward them right then. Or if you reward them later, they're not going to know exactly what that's for. But if you reward them right then they will continue to do that good behavior or want to learn more and get more rewards. Self-evaluation and reflective practice is important. Learners should be encouraged to reflect on what they have learned and think about ways that they can further their knowledge. Well, that's all I have. I really enjoyed this semester and getting to do research and learn more about how people learn. I think it will really help me in my future. How people learn really interacts with psychology, so it's interesting to see what I'm learning in my psych classes carries over into education and how those combine.
I found 2 quotes that I really enjoyed. One of them is, "Knowledge isn't power until it is applied." And then from Gandhi, "Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever."
So thanks for watching.